It's time to sew with Sherlock. Yay! Okay, and me. So we're putting the green stripe. We've got the green stripe ready. So we got 1.5 inch green stripe, and we are gonna sew that onto there, Missouri Star quilt. We're gonna sew that onto our postage stamps. And let's open those up. So there's our postage stamps. How to make those, you've got other videos to take a look at. I'm gonna put this on the top. And the reason, when I'm sewing this, the reason I'm doing that on the top is because it's got the seams going on, and they kind of, one flips this way, one flips that way. If I keep it on the top, it's gonna be a lot easier for me to make sure that those things don't flip over. Because when they flip over, then you got a bump in the fabric, and we don't want that. So, okay, all right, so let's get to sewing. Okay, well, I wanted to tell you, I use this, my big plastic ruler, to wrap the green around, and that way it stays nice and straight after I've already ironed it. So I sewed all these together, and I ironed them. Okay, so I've got the green is on the bottom. It's gonna be a little weird because it's skinnier, so. And then we've got the stripe on top. I'm gonna set that down, and we're gonna start sewing. So, yay, we're sewing! Yay, we're sewing! How fun is this? Yes! Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, I'm out of thread. Got to replace the bobbin thread. So I want to tell you, you want to be really careful not to pull on the postage stamps because those will stretch. The rail is good. That's the stripe. That's going to give you the structure on the quilt, and that you don't have to worry about pulling because it's the rail. It's the structure. So let me replace the bobbin thread, and we'll keep going. Replace the bobbin thread. And I just want to let you know, I've got the postage stamps sitting on my lap. That helps keep them a little bit safe. And we're just sewing along here. So this is one super, super long seam that we're doing. This will be half of the seams that we're doing because this is one that we're putting the two together. And the green, when I measured it, is about 60 yards. So you can picture the football field, right? So 60 yards, like 6/10 of a football field. That's how long this seam's gonna go for. It's okay, I'm gonna fast forward this so that you're not actually watching all of the sewing, but I'm gonna just keep sewing along, so. All right, so here we're coming up on the end. Let me show you what this looks like. So we've been sewing now for about 40 minutes on this. So it probably takes us faster to walk 60 yards than to sew 60 yards, about 60 yards. I'm getting near the end. There. That's the end of the green. And there we go. So it looks like, sorry for the camera crazy. It looks like Oops. That's a sewing machine. It looks like this. So we've got the green stripe on there. Opens up the postage stamps. So what's the reason we're putting the green stripe in there is so that we don't have to line the postage stamps up. There's a lot of variation in this process that we've done. So your eye actually will put a straight line between them, which is awesome. Wait till we see at the end piece. All right, I'm gonna iron this open, iron this fold open, and then we'll go back and we'll sew one of these to itself. So after we get, all right, how much do we have? We have, it goes on and on and on and on and on. Excuse me. So, after we iron this open, we'll sew this guy to, never mind, let me just show you later. Right, so here we are ironing. So just so you know, we've taken the green strip and the postage stamps and we've sewn them together. We had a whole bunch to do. We had over 60 yards. And as I'm pressing, I am pressing in little circles to open this up. So this is kind of a closed part over here. And after I iron it, it looks like this. So this is what the piece in between looks like. It's coming together. Little circles. Get that puppy open. Let's see if I can get you a better picture of this. Okay, so we are ironing in circles. And then I've also got distilled water to give it a little extra squirt, make it extra flat. This extra flat will help when we're sewing this. All right, so the next part is we're gonna sew these together, and let me show you something that's kind of interesting. So we got this side, and if we look at the other side, wait a minute, we can't just sew them together because we want to have a green stripe between them. So here's how we're gonna solve this problem. We're gonna put these together like this, and we're gonna find the middle. And we're gonna cut there, and then we're gonna turn them around, so then we'll have them in the right spot. So that's kind of a odd thing to explain to you, but we want to make sure that we got it straight. Otherwise, we'd have the postage stamps in the center and the rails on the outside, and that's not what we want. So this just needs to be about. Is it going to be exact? It will not be exact. The next seam will be half that, right? So the next seam will be 30 yards. The next seam after that will be 15. Then the next thing you know, we'll have a blankie size, which will be perfect. That's what we're going for. All right. And we're going to call that the halfway point. Handy scissors, handy scissors. We're calling that the halfway point. Ta-da! All right, now we'll take one of these sides and go to the other side. Which side will be? No? That way. Okay, so when we sew these together, in the center we'll have the green stripe. And we'll have to do this each time. Each time we'll have to go to the halfway part so that we can flip it around. There you go. All right, welcome back. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sew these together, and we're going to sew right along here. So when that sews, it's going to look like this. So there'll be a green seam in the center and then one on the outside. So let's get these lined up. I got my two piles. It actually looks like one big pile, but there's two piles here. We'll get these on top of each other. Oh, actually I want to sew. I do. I want to sew the other way. So remember I was talking about earlier, we want to make sure that this is on the upside so that we can make sure that we've got the fold right. So I'm going to have to go completely to the other side. All right, let me get these on the other side. So we're going to sew the postage stamps to the green stripe on this side. And the reason I had to turn it around is because my sewing machine's on this side. And I need to rethread my sewing machine. All right, so. It's time to sew, it's time to sew. I don't know why Sherlock's being quiet. Bobo, are you awake? He's watching for the birds. He's watching for the birds. I love them. There we go. So I know I have the 2 piles on the side here. They're actually on the floor next to me. So, there. Let's see. Stop and show you what it looks like. All right, so now we've got 4 together. And that rail's nice and skinny, see that? But, oh, and I didn't line anything up. Okay, so we've got a brick pattern going on, which is cool too. There you go, I'm doing a brick pattern. Not quite what I thought I was gonna do. I could pull it out, or keep it with the brick pattern. I'm gonna keep with the brick pattern. There you go. Go with the flow. All right, so we've got the postage stamps sewn together on a rail. Rail onto the postage stamps, and then we flip this in half, and then we sew the next piece on, and I've already ironed it open. And what I've done is I've pressed both postage stamps into the center, so the green stripe's actually in there. See the green stripe in there? So what that'll do, get that back in there, okay. What that'll do is make that rail stand up a little bit more on the blanket. So it'll be a little bit poofier, which will be perfect, right? Like, what? There's just really cool things we can do. Okay, so we're gonna fold this in half, find the other piece so we can snip again, and then we'll sew these guys back to each other. All right, where's the other side? The other side is here somewhere. It's on the ground. Okay, other side. Put the 2 together. We got a little extra on this side. See? Not bad. So we will we're gonna have some extra threads. So the threads just pop out because we ripped these seams on the rails on the end. So those rails are they're right along, they've been ripped right along the thread line. So we have threads that will pop out. But we've added enough seam allowance that that's not a problem in what we're doing. Yay! Okay, and we are at the halfway point. Almost, right about there. And let's snip this. We're gonna keep our the brick pattern. So instead of just throwing it on the sewing machine, I'm actually gonna line it up a little bit better. Make sure that we've got that brick pattern. So I've got these cut, but one side needs to go the other way. Probably should have looked at this to figure out which side's the easier one to sew, but we'll figure that out. If I got it, it did. If I didn't, we'll flip it back over. And it's, of course, the other side. All right. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so what do I mean by that? We are sewing this rail, it's going to be on the bottom, and then this postage stamp side is going to be on the top. We are going to sew. So, postage stamp to the rail, and we're sewing on this side. Okay? All right. So, this is what it's looking like so far. Ta-da! Ta-da-da-da, 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 ta-da-da-da. Pretty, huh? Look at all the little postage stamps. Woohoo! All right, so we just finished sewing this next seam, and look, it doesn't line up. So you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna snip that piece off. It'll be nice and even again. There you go. Snip, 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 snip. All right, extra piece. Bye-bye. And here's how it looks. Woohoo! Yee! All right, let's get this to halfway point. And we will, oh no, let's iron it first. We'll iron it first. Sew, iron, sew, iron, sew, iron. Half of ironing, excuse me, half of sewing a quilt is the actual ironing. The ironing, the better you do with the ironing, the better the quilt will look. I promise. I promise. Ironing is a secret. All right, so we've ironed it open and we've got it folded in half and we need to make a snip again. So we're gonna snip the halfway part. Come on, scissors. And we've got pieces that look like this. Ooh, it's coming together. It's coming together. All right. Now it's starting to act like cloth. Okay, so we got half. Let's flip this around. Okay, and we want the postage stamps to be on the top. So it's going to be this side we start. So here's the. Back up a little bit better than that. All right, so postage stamps on the top, greens on the bottom, and we're going to sew right along there. And then we'll have it really big then. Not quite wide enough yet though. It's coming along. Ooh, look at this. Oh my goodness. It is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. But we need to do it again. So we'll fold it in half, snip it, flip them around, sew another one. Alrighty. So we sewed the last, well, it looks like the last, right? This is what we're looking at. We've got a little flap we gotta straighten out there. And can you guess what else we need to do? We need to put a green rail on that side so it matches that side. There we go. So we got a nice wide, and this is a lap size. This is gonna be a lap size blanket. So we'll measure it here in a second. I'll show you how big it is, but. All right, let me get this ironed. All right, so I've got it laid out on a queen size bed, so you can see what's going on here. Oh my gosh, so we've got the triangles that have shown up, we've got the green rails, and we're missing on this side, because we've been sewing one to the other, we're gonna have to put another green rail here, see what I mean? So that will even it up to what's going on with the other side. There you go, and then we're gonna have a quilt top. Now, if you're looking at this, you can see, so we got a little extra piece here. We're gonna have to cut that piece off. And we're gonna have to square this up, or we're gonna have to square this up because it's got some wave going on right now. It's kind of hard to show you that. Let me go ahead and get this other piece on, and then we'll do the squaring up, and I'll show you how to do that. We'll get that piece off as well, and we'll square it up. Yay! Looking pretty. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I just, you know, when it comes together like this, it's just, it's so soft. And, you know, when you hand make something, this is just precious. So, there you go. There you go. And you can see my blankie I have for my pillows. What? I have a blankie for my pillows? That's crazy. All right, so we have got this all ironed. We've got both edges on. We got this edge and we got this edge. And now we get to square this puppy up. So, oh my gosh, it turned out beautiful. Look at these fat quarters. Oh, just lovely. I'm so excited. All right, so let's talk about how we're going to square this up. So we're going to fold it the long way, and then we're going to fold this in half. All right, so how are we doing? Sorry, I need to put something down here. Okay, so we've got a quarter and a quarter. This is going to be straight enough. So it's going to have a little wiggle in it, but that's okay. It's going to be mostly square. We're not going for perfect. We're going for mostly square. So when we lay this out, we have, let me show you what I mean. We have an extra, oh, there's Sherlock. So let's bring this up a little bit. So we're going to have an extra piece down here. So we're going to cut across, we're going to cut across here on the shortest one, which I think is the top. So, yep, and those two are, so this is definitely shorter than those two. So I'm going to cut across here and get that straight. I'm going to use one of these rails as the straight line. And then we will cut across. So what I mean by the straight line is we're going to seam up this way, and I'll show you. This one is a nice rail. That is a nice rail. Okay. So we're going to go a little closer, a little closer. All right, so we're going to probably cut on that. So you know where I'm at. Got a little tail here. Oh, would have been nice to do it in one cut, but come on, baby. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so that'll make that nice and square-ish. Ish. All right, so I cut it, and it still has a little bit of a wonk, but you know what? We're going to just go ahead and be good with that. So I'm going to sew a rail on the top and the bottom so that we have a rail going all the way around. But you see what I'm, maybe you can see it. No? Yeah, kind of a little woggle going on that side. There's a little bit more woggle on this side. Let me show you what I mean. Yeah, it's kind of wobbly, but that's okay. That's okay. They don't have to be perfect. So we're going to add another rail, which means we need another snip of the green down here. So I am measuring 1.5 inches in, and we're going to snip that right there. And then we are going to rip. Yes, yes. And there we go. So we'll add this on the sides. Let me iron it first. There you go. The quilt top is done. You can see all the, it just turned out beautiful. Oh, Sherlock, you gonna jump up and say hi? Come on up. I'm very pleased with it. It looks gorgeous. What do you think, Sherlock? You like it too? Yeah? All right, so Sherlock wanted to give his corgi approval. You approve it? Do you approve, Bubbles? What do you think? You like it? You like the blanket? Hmm? Is it good? Oh, we've got to stop and scratch. So there we go. Woohoo! Quilt top is done. Yay! Oh my goodness. I just love it when they're... So now we've got to do the quilting part. And this is going to be just a simple tie-off. So we'll do that in another video. And there you go. So postage stamps and stripes. We ripped the postage stamps out of 12, and actually we ended up adding another one, so we put the green in too, because we needed to show you how to rip these. So we ripped 13 fat quarters, then we added solid stripes. The 13 fat quarters were ripped in 3-inch strips, and then we added 1.5 inch rails so that it was just very narrow. The reason I added green, so most people add white or they'll add black, you know, something very contrasty. I did the green because I was trying to go for the no seam green thing that Disney did. I wasn't sure how it would turn out. I never made one with green before, but you can do any solid color. And get this. Sorry for my coughing. Like and subscribe. What do you think, Sherlock? Like and subscribe? Yes, please.